People have done that, but we wouldn't recommend that.
Is New Zealand better than South Africa? He is lying. You got the job. And then 3 months later, we were here. Do you regret immigrating? 2 years ago today, we got on the plane and immigrated from South Africa to New Zealand. And you guys had a lot of questions on my Instagram. And we are lucky today to have a special guest. My husband, Werner.
Hello, it's me.
So we are just gonna wing it, go for it, and answer it as best as we can. But first, a disclaimer. So all of the answers is our own personal experience. Everyone finds it differently. Everyone has a different opinion. This is how we did it. This is how we find it. And this is how we are adjusting. Let's get straight into it because there were a lot of questions. First, how did it all start?
It started with me seeing an advertisement for a job offer as a diesel mechanic. They were interested in having an interview with me. And that's where it started. So I got the interview, did the interview, got the job, and now we're here 2 years later.
He is lying.
What?
That is how it started in 2022. But first, we backtrack. 2015, he wanted to move to Canada. And I was like, no, it is snowing. It is not going to happen. And I'm not immigrating with my boyfriend.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yes.
fast forward to 2018. There was a job offer that his friend that was living here told him about. He applied for the job, got the job, and they wanted us to move there in 2 to 3 months. But the rate was a bit low for me at the time, and it wouldn't have made sense to come over here with a low rate. And we weren't married yet.
Yeah. Yes.
Very important. So then COVID happened. We decided, no, we're going to stay in South Africa. We like South Africa. We're going to live there forever. Look for work in the Western Cape because the Western Cape is where it is at. You also love the Western Cape.
I love the Western Cape.
But it didn't happen. That is where his side of the story starts. We covered the past now, so now we are only focusing on the current immigration situation after we decided, yes, let's go. You got the job. And then 3 months later, we were here.
Yes.
It was very quick. That is how it started. How did you decide on New Zealand and not somewhere else? Because Australia is cheaper.
Obviously, I got a job offer, from New Zealand, so that's why we came here in the first place. But we did consider Australia, but Australia is a bit more difficult to get into with the initial assessments and things you have to do for your trade. So that was a bit more difficult, so that's why we chose New Zealand in the end.
And also they have magpies. I am scared of birds and he is scared of spiders. We aren't going to risk it in Australia. Where do you look for work? seek.co.nz. That is where you look for work.
Or you can just download the Seek app.
Because you are seeking for jobs.
Yes.
What agency did you use? We didn't use an agency. We did it DIY on the fly, but we did a lot of research on Immigration New Zealand's website.
Yes.
And he also knew a few people that was here, so he asked them a lot of questions. But we had a very straightforward visa with his job, which is a green list tier 2 job. We don't have children, we don't have other issues, so it was quick and easy. If you have a more complicated situation, you can go with the agency route. But personally, we didn't.
The agencies cost a lot of money, and you can do a lot of it yourself if you just do a bit of research.
If you're good with admin. Then the most asked question, what was the costs? It is not cheap. You guys, it is not cheap to immigrate. You have to really decide you want to do it and you want to commit to it because this is not a weekend situation.
It's kind of permanent.
So, what was the cost? This again is what we paid in 2023. So, the visas, his visa was $750. My visa was $700. Medicals, I didn't add it up. 4,927 Rand. Police clearance, 320 Rand for both. And then we did unabridged certificate, marriage certificate, passports, because we both got new passports, so it lasts for 10 years.
If your occupation is a trade, you need to do a trade assessment.
And how much did you pay for that?
That was about 6,000 Rand.
Did you take over your furniture and things, and is it worth it? Yes. Yes, it is worth it.
We brought our whole house in a 20-foot container.
We brought everything after a lot of decluttering, but I will say our furniture was still in very good condition. Some of it was still new, so it was worth it to us to actually bring it all over because we did the math, and if we just had to buy the same exact mattress, it would have cost half of the container cost. So do your math, look at your furniture. If it's falling apart, come and start over. But if it's going to cost you 50 times more to replace everything, bring it with. Or if you're very sentimental like me.
Sometimes the quality of things in SA is a bit better than it is here. So that's why we chose to go that route.
Yes, or if you want the same exact quality, you are going to pay a whole container price for one piece of couch. How did you get Abby over there? I see a lot of people leaving their pets. Is it hard?
It is a bit of a process to get your animals over, especially with the vaccines. Everything has to be up to date for them to come over.
It is a bit expensive, we're not gonna lie. You have to get all your quotes and everything, but there's a lot of vet visits, blood tests, so it is a process. So I do understand we never recommend leaving your pets, but for some people it is really impossible or very, very hard to bring over their pets. So we do understand, but we did bring Abby over because we don't have children and that makes it easier.
Yes, and we love our small dog. We couldn't have left her behind.
We would have.
My heart would have been broken.
And here are the people that we used to bring over Abby. I'm editing it on top of your face. What documents is needed and how long did it take? We recommend to go onto immigration.gov.nz and to see all of that information there. But this is what we remember.
A passport, obviously, your trade assessment or your occupational assessment, your unabridged birth certificates, if you're married, unabridged marriage certificate, police clearances.
And how long did it take? Vanner got his work offer October 2022. We started all of the final documents and we got here February the 6th, 2023. So
yeah, more or less 4 months.
Yes, give or take. Yeah. Can you get a work visa while you're on a holiday visa, securing a job on your holiday?
People have done that, but we wouldn't recommend that.
Highly do not recommend. Because sometimes it works out, but a lot of the times it does not work out, and then you're stuck in New Zealand living on your last little bit of randalas and not get a job, and then what are you going to do? Also, immigration is very strict when it comes to lying about your visa. So you can't say you're coming here on holiday but you're looking for work.
Yeah.
That might have worked a few years ago, but these days, ooh. And remember, we are currently in a recession here, so getting a job is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Are you residents yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet, but we are applying in February. Because you are...
Work to residence, so it's 2 years until you can apply for your residency. Almost there.
And someone also asked, for whose job are we here? For him. We are here for him because he is the skilled one and I am the cute and creative and funny one.
And beautiful.
Are you still wowed and any disappointments?
Definitely. This country is really amazing. The landscapes are incredible. Disappointments that I have is you just can't go to the corner of the street to buy 10 bags of wood for your weekend braai.
That is a perfect segue for, is New Zealand better than South Africa? We didn't move away from South Africa because we didn't like it. We were very happy in South Africa. We were settled in South Africa. We have nothing against South Africa. Is it better? I don't think we moved with the intention of we're moving to a better country. We're moving to this amazing Red Roses place. We moved because Vanner's job security was a little bit crumbly in South Africa because the mine was constantly restructuring. So we just came over for job security. We came with very realistic expectations, and I think that is why we are able to really enjoy it. It's not a comparison to us.
A really difficult question as well, because obviously every country has its pros and its cons. It's very difficult to say, but I wouldn't say one is better than the other one. Both countries are really amazing.
Is it really so expensive to live in New Zealand? See, that is a perfect pro and con. New Zealand is definitely more expensive in some sense, like internet, phones, cheaper. Rent, very much more expensive. Very, very, very.
Yeah.
Oh, and with entertainment, that is beyond the budget. So in South Africa, you can easily go out to eat. You can easily go out for drinks. Yeah. Oh, you have to plan it. And then you can only drink like 1 or 2 drinks and then it is klar. How did you manage to make new, meaningful friendships?
The group of friends that we have now got introduced by a mutual friend of ours, and we all just clicked. We all just get along very well. So we are very lucky in that regard.
When you are here, you are forming new relationships because a friendship is a relationship. So you have to check in with them. You have to be constant. You have to make plans. You can't just sit back, relax and wait for them to come to you. You have to go and look for them. Also, if you meet some people that you don't feel like you click with, don't just stick to them. Move on. Jump around until you find people that you feel like you really click with, because then it's going to be effortless and easy. So remember, if you are very lucky, you immigrated already with your best friend.
Oh.
So in all of the hustle and bustle, remember to keep this friendship alive as well. And not just talk stress and admin. How do you cope emotionally when friends and family is celebrating something when you are far away?
That's a difficult one. That is one of the most difficult things, to be this far away from your friends. But we try and keep in constant contact with your friends, video call. Just make sure you know what's happening in their lives. Share as much of your life with them as they share with you as well. Yes. That makes it a lot easier. So you still feel connected. You still feel like you know what's happening.
And also, when they are celebrating something else and they are happy and in the moment, you are allowed to sit on your couch and be a bit sad. I feel the best thing is to allow yourself all of the emotions that comes with immigration, because it is a very traumatic experience. You can say it is la-di-da, but it is not. It can get very difficult and you need to allow yourself the time to process. Are the people friendly, and is there a lot of South Africans? Woo, there is a lot of South Africans here.
One day someone asked me, you probably don't even speak Afrikaans anymore. Almost more Afrikaans here than I would do back home, because there are so many South Africans here. Wherever you go, there's a South African.
And then how are the people? They're friendly?
Most people are very friendly and welcoming, but not all.
I am very bubbly and talkative, so I can talk to anybody. But I have been in a few situations where I was like, and I was met with blank face. Because some people do take a lot longer to open up and be warm. It's just a difference in personality. That is all. But South Africans love to chit-chat. Kiwis, I don't think they love to chit-chat. How do you handle the weather? Dit reën altyd so kakbaie hier.
As a South African, when it rains, you just want to be inside your home, pull up on a couch with a movie. Here, you can't do that. You have to embrace the rain and just go with it.
I don't really love the constant rain. A lot of people, they just go on as normal. They run in the rain. They sit in the rain. Walk the dogs in the rain. I'm not there yet. And Abby is also not there. She's not a rain dog. What was the biggest adjustment for you, and did you have any culture shocks? My biggest adjustment was definitely getting used to all the different shops and how the shops are laid out, because it's more like massive warehouses. Also, I am a bargain hunter, so I really knew my prices in South Africa. But here, it's like, oh, it's $5 for a milk. But for the first few months, I didn't know, is $5 a special or is it expensive? Because it is 50 Rand, and 50 Rand for 2 liters of milk is belachelijk. It was hard to get used to, but now I feel like I know my prices and I am back to being a bargain queen. Then, any culture shocks? World Cup. You guys, that was my biggest culture shock since being in New Zealand. Growing up, I mean, it was the Springbokke All Blacks all day, every day. We have Bok Radio, Green and Gold Fridays. It's all over the shops. The marketing opportunities for the World Cups is crazy, even if we don't host the World Cups. Here, we are in Auckland, the city of the All Blacks. Nux. Nothing. Zero. I didn't even hear one ad on the radio promoting the World Cup. That was so weird. Going into the shops, no little flags or anything. The malls, nothing. You would not say there is a Rugby World Cup going on in the world. For me, that was a massive culture shock.
For me, this side was the just to get used to the work environment and the different workplaces that I was exposed to, and also the traffic. The traffic, if you stay in Auckland, can get quite hectic sometimes.
What do we miss the most, except all of our people?
Driving down the street and buying 10 bags of food for the weekend, right?
Ooh, he's missing the wood, guys. Miss easily going out to eat. Cocktails, the cocktails. Oh, South African cocktails are just next level. Fanta grape.
Line lager.
Hunter's Dry.
Black label.
And if we are not talking about things, I miss the vibe. It's a different vibe in South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and all the beauty treatments. Getting your nails done, go doing your hair, getting your lashes done because it was affordable. And here it is not in the monthly budget. What is your favorite part of New Zealand?
Favorite part of New Zealand is definitely the South Island, Queenstown. That place is so amazing, incredible, and the scenery is out of this world.
The scenery in the South Island is what you find when you Google New Zealand. But when you're up here, it's still pretty, but it's not snowy mountains. But if you're in the North Island, then we really enjoyed Rotorua.
Taupo?
And Tauranga, those beaches are very nice. But there's a lot of like naturey, scenic routes. Literally just jump in the car and drive somewhere.
Go on hikes. The trails are like well maintained, and it's most of the stuff is basically free.
And I can see from the profile pic you have children.
There's a lot of play parks for children with like zip lines and trampolines. It's just it's insane to see.
Sometimes we are jealous. And we don't have children, so we can't just go there for ourselves because it'll be weird. Suspect.
Frowned upon.
How safe is it here?
It is a lot safer, in my opinion.
There is still crime in New
Yeah.
Zealand, but it's not as violent and regular. But it is picking up a little bit, the theft in Auckland. But I feel like it's opportunistic crime. Don't leave your laptop in your car. Don't leave your car unlocked. Don't go full on, oh, we are safe, and be stupid. Just be street smart and you will be fine. I am really more relaxed here. I feel very safer here. And also a different safe is the safe on the roads, because there's really not as much crazy car crashes here. So I feel a lot safer on the roads as well. So it's not just the crime that I feel safer with.
It's also a lot safer due to the amount of fines that you can get here. The fines here are insane. If you get a fine, ask me. It's not fun to pay the fine.
And how fast did you drive?
55 in a 50 zone, and I got a $85 fine.
So stay in the speed limit.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you are fully settled in?
So definitely after 2 years, we feel a lot more settled compared to when we just got here.
I feel like it also took us a little while to get used to everything, to fully settle in, to get closer to our friends, to really get our groove on again, because it is a real big adjustment. Like everything changes in your life. You have to get used to a lot. You have to process a lot of emotion and a lot of things going on in your head while figuring out a whole new way of life. So it can take a while. For me personally, after a year, I felt a lot better, but now after 2 years, I really feel fully settled in.
Yeah.
Do you regret immigrating?
No.
No, I also don't regret immigrating. I feel it was a very good decision for us. We grew a lot as people. You really go through a lot of personal development because you get challenged in ways you didn't think were possible. If you just push through and really try and evolve, you will grow as a person and you will come out better at the end. And also it brings a lot of whole new opportunities, places to see, places to explore. So it's fun. You can make it fun. Yeah. Will you ever go back to South Africa to live?
Right now, no, I would not.
No. I think we came over with the mindset we are coming to start a new life here. So it isn't in our vision to go back to South Africa. I feel we took the step, so we are happy and staying here for now. You can never really know what's going to happen in the future. And we also don't have citizenship yet. So we can't say never say never. We still have a few loops to jump through. And now for a surprise, do you have a question for me?
Yes. What have you felt you learned during those 2 years?
Ooh, I learned that having a strong and happy marriage is the most important part of immigrating, because I can always lean on you for everything. And it makes it a lot easier if you really love and like your husband.
And do you have a question for me?
Would you do anything differently?
Yes. I would first come and visit the country and see what it looks like, how the people are, just more or less get a feel of it before I decide to move here permanently.
Why?
Because then you have a bit more of an understanding of how things look, what you can expect, and that just help with your future planning.
That is actually a very good answer, because yes, we had a lot of feedback from a lot of different people. But you come over with their expectations, but they handle things differently than you do. So you can get everyone in your life to tell you how it is in New Zealand, including us. But you are very unique. So how you find New Zealand is probably not going to be the same as how we find New Zealand, because everyone is very, very different. And if you come to New Zealand, it's important to make sure you have a path to residency. Because if your goal is to come to New Zealand to have fun, work here for 2-3 years and go back to South Africa, come on your work visa. But if you are packing up your whole life, using a lot of your savings, really want to implement yourself in New Zealand, make sure you have a path to residency. So that is our experience of being in New Zealand for 2 years after immigrating from South Africa. If you have any other questions, you can ask them down in the comments, but remember to subscribe and like this video as well. Imagine why julle ding het nou nie afgeneem.
Ja, dan kan ek my broek.